Hi, this is my new setup update for 2019. So let's get started. In this year, 7th July, was the release of AMD's 3000 series for CPUs. So it boasted having better IPCs compared to its previous generation processors and Intel's processors. Hence, I decided it was worth an upgrade for my system over here. My previous system had a Ryzen 2600. It had some issues with my set of Triden Z 3000 MHz 32 gig kit, because especially in quad channel, I don't know why, like dual channel is fine. And since I went to quad channel though, this memory is really unstable and it keeps on blue screening occasionally for no reason at all. However, with Ryzen 3000, memory compatibility has increased, with the Infinity Fabric being able to be synced with the memory clock or unlinked from it. This comes in handy as running RAM speeds higher than 3600 MHz, it will really help the processor be able to handle that higher amount of memory bandwidth, since Ryzen does get better performance out of higher RAM speeds. There was also a few flaws in my previous systems, one of them being the case also, because the case had which was the Cooler Master Box 5 Lite RGB. Though the looks was somewhat fine, the case was very constricting and airflow. It also limited my upgrade possibilities, as I can't really add a 240ml red to the top of the case. I can only put a 120 at the rear or 360 at the front, but then blocking out my RGB at the front. My RAID drives also, due to the poor airflow of the case, were getting quite hot. So when I run two Toshiba P300 drives in RAID 1, they will get quite hot, around like 50 to about 60 degrees at times, whether they are like resyncing or not. So that's a bit concerning. The ID cooling radiator that I used, which is a 120 ID cooling AuraFlow 120, was decent for 2600, but that would be decent enough for my 3700X that has more cores and higher clock speeds than that 2600. Hence, I felt it was needed for an upgrade too in terms of cooling. But then it also had an issue where I stripped one of the bolts for the radiator support. So one of my screws holding the radiator to the case was already stripped from quite a while now. So I decided, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna change it. Hence, I decided to bite the bullet, which was around like 1.3k in total parts for this build. Not including the RAM that I actually bought previously, and the storage drive and the NVMe drives also. Power supply in the system really didn't need to be changed, but I just wanted a power supply with modular cables and also a high efficiency, as I do run the system for long hours in my house, because I either have it rendering videos or editing videos on it, or just waiting for me to connect via TeamViewer from another place. As it always starts by selling off the original parts of my system first, to cut the cost of upgrading. This consisted of the CPU, motherboard, case, cooler, and power supply. For new parts, I decided to man up and bite the bullet with a Ryzen 7 3700X MSI X570 Gaming Pro Carbon Wi-Fi motherboard, Seasonic 650W fully gold modular power supply, Cryorig H7 Lumi, and a Cooler Master H500 case. So let's get to the build. So I'm gonna do some testing outside of the system first before I put it into the case. So in that case, let's get started. Pun intended. The build was a huge success. The H7 Lumi not only looked great, but performed quite well paired with a Ryzen 3700X, getting a max temp of 86 degrees with a peace of mind that wouldn't leak unlike an AIO. The lighting of this build also managed to satisfy my need of RGB, as it has two ARGB strips on the top and the bottom of the case, which I added in myself. Two massive RGB fans at the front, and RGB all over the board that can be synced together with the MSI Mystic Lite software. The only bummer is that the Cryorig H7 requires you to use the CAM software to control its RGB, and the illumination effects aren't as vibrant as the MSI's software. So I normally would just leave it white, which matched with the rest of the build, as my GPU has a bit of a logo, so the MSI logo on my GPU, and that's white too, so that matches quite well. For GPU wise, I kept with the RX 470 8GB that I had for quite a while now, though I will be upgrading that in the future as it can't really play back 4K videos anymore. Now I'm going to show you all some benchmarks, which are games such as CSGO and BeamNG Drive, as these are my two most common games that I used to run. The settings and display resolution will be displayed on the screen now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, leave a like, subscribe, share, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.